Greetings, royal family. Look, I had to put on my finest chapstick so my lips don't get dry because I have a lot to say about this mess of an episode. Thanks for clicking on the video. This is the review. Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, Season 9, Episode 6. You tripping. KK. KK is still in the kitchen with Cheyenne and her son, Scrap De Leon. And KK is tired of Cheyenne's nasty attitude, so she ends up outing Cheyenne about messing with Shooter. Cheyenne confirms or actually reveals that she's been messing with Shooter for about 2 years, not a year. Scrap is standing there totally confused, right? Because he's supposed to be going into business with Shooter. So he's just like, wait a minute. What's the secret about? KK then turns her back and hits us with a word on the street is, that I ain't one to gossip, but you ain't heard that from me. So KK said, word on the street, Shooter is talking to somebody else. So this takes Cheyenne by surprise. KK really is a trip, though. The way she did that, she schooled you, Cheyenne. I told you. KK was going to school you. She schooled you. So Cheyenne's like, well, who else is he talking to? KK said, I don't know. B words. She said itches. Then KK says, well, I got to go. Y'all can call me. Either one of you can call me when you're ready to apologize. I got to go pick up whosoever. Class dismissed. Cheyenne, KK schooled you. Don't mess with her. You was being disrespectful and she put you in your place. Anywho, we move on to the ski trip. Rashida is not in attendance because she has things going on at home. So all of the other ladies, they're there. They stop to buy a pregnancy test because they're all going to take pregnancy tests when they get to the house. So they arrive to the house. Beautiful, nice space. Shekinah, she's already there. Shekinah said, look, I drove alone for my peace of mind. She didn't want to ride with the rest of the ladies. And at this point, we find out why Spice is mad at Shekinah. And she gave her like a dry hello upon arrival when she entered the house. Because you remember last episode, Spice was saying that she ain't really feeling Shekinah. And I was like, oh, Lord, what Shekinah done did now? Spice is basically upset at the fact that Shekinah didn't help her, as promised, find a house in Atlanta. Because Spice is residing in Atlanta. Well, she goes back and forth between Atlanta and Jamaica. And her kids are still in Jamaica. Well, at this time. So she wants to get a house in Atlanta so she can bring her kids to the States. So apparently Shekinah has promised to do this multiple times and it's never gotten done. Now, Spice, you my big cousin. But is Shekinah some sort of undercover 5-star realtor that we don't know about? I mean, Spice did go on to say that she's tired of Shekinah promising to do things and not following through. So I can understand why she's tired of that. If you say you're going to do something and I really definitely need your help, I can understand her being frustrated. But girl, you better find find a realtor. I mean, you can still hold Shekinah accountable for not following through with whatever it is that she promised that she was going to do for you. But find a realtor. You want to get your kids up here. I don't know. This sounded kind of like a lover's quarrel. I don't know. Is it me or in this scene, when Spice told Shekinah that she didn't want to be her friend anymore and she turned around and walked off, she seemed like she was trying to keep a straight face. Is it me? All right, we'll play along, whatever. So the girls, they all take their pregnancy tests and they get the results. They change into their pajamas, honey, and they get their results. Sierra, I'm laughing now because of what we find out afterwards. Anyway, so Sierra, she starts bawling like a baby and hyperventilating because her test came up positive. So she was bawling. Some of the girls were kind of laughing at her and they were like, you want to take another one? She is crying. She can't breathe. She's pacing back and forth. And come to find out that cornball Bambi pulled a prank on her. Bambi's actually the one that's pregnant. So it was actually her test. She switched the tests. Yo, Bambi's mad corny. Like she and Scrappy Doo belong. They both corny. Anyway, moving along. See, this is when ish got real. So the ladies, some of the ladies are in the kitchen and they're chit-chatting, and, you know, Carly and Shekinah are fussing and bickering, and Spice, they're like bickering, just like high school girl, like sisters, nothing major. So Shekinah, she started talking about, they started talking about relationships, and she started talking about her experiences with dating and why she doesn't date. She revealed that she has been in a abusive relationship. Spice chimed in, as well as Carly. They kind of, you know, shared a little bit of their stories. They all had a good cry and consoled each other. And Shekinah said something that I have touched on in my commentary many times. You know, she said that from the time that girls are young, it's like they're trained up to look for a man, and, you know, you look for the man with money and a man to take care of you, and you got to have a man, etc. And I'm glad that she mentioned that. You know, she got really emotional because she kind of went back to a place where she was in a not so great relationship. And Niecy Nash, for example, just to kind of change the subject just a little bit, Niecy Nash was raised this way, as far as being told. I did commentary about this, on how she was told by the women in her family, her mother, aunts, grandmother, that when she finds a man, keep him no matter what. You know, you're nothing without a man. You're less of a woman without a man. She was actually told this. And again, I did commentary on that. So Shekinah, she also said that some of these men will be abusive, you know, and messing around with other women and talking to all of these different women, and then they'll have like 2 or more women fighting each other over this man. And she was just kicking some real rap, you know. And let me just put out a disclaimer: this does not apply to all men. All men are not like this. This applies to the men that display these behaviors. So no, it's not all men. Thank you. Got to put that out there. Anyway, so Spice, she got emotional. Again, they're all still in the kitchen. Looks like they're preparing breakfast or preparing a meal. So they're all sitting around. Spice, she got emotional in reference to taking care of her 2 children without her children's father in their life. And she said she hasn't spoken to him in 3 years. She didn't really get into deep why. She just said that he is a jerk, basically. And she said that what if she herself wasn't financially stable? You know, what if she wasn't working? How would her kids, you know, eat? And it's just, that's heavy. You know, that's really, really heavy. And not to mention, at the time of filming, her children were in Jamaica. So, and she's all the way in Atlanta. You know, she's away from them while she's working, trying to make some money and build a better life for herself and her children. And it is not an easy road. So I was glad that they were all able to kind of get this off of their chests, and they had some sort of outlet to relieve some of their stress. You know, they consoled each other, they hugged each other. And I appreciated the authenticity of this scene. That's what it is. It was authentic. So shout out to the ladies having, you know, girls' time and venting. We move on to see Jock and the boys, right? So they're all suit shopping and taking advantage of the complimentary champagne. And this is in reference to Jock's wedding. So he said that he was going to have a destination wedding, so I don't even, whatever. Anyway, so they're all chit-chatting around, you know, standing around chit-chatting, and Scrap DeLeon, he ends up walking in, and he eventually pulls Shooter to the side to ask him about Cheyenne. So Shooter says that Cheyenne hit him up in his DM, or why does that matter? Like, anyway, Scrap's argument is this. Scrap DeLeon, that is, not Mama D's boy. I mean, not Mama D. Yeah, Mama D's boy. Scrap DeLeon and Shooter are about to go into business together. And this is not a good look. That's Scrap's argument. You know what I mean? And he says that he's kind of reconsidering. Listen, money and blood sometimes don't mix. I don't blame Scrap. And Scrap's whole thing also is like, what is this? Why is this a secret? Why are you keeping secrets? You know, he looks at Shooter now as being a little sneaky. Where there's smoke, there's fire, usually. So back to the high school ski trip. So after their waiting to exhale moment, some of the girls, they go back to bickering. So they show clips of them bickering on their little bus and bickering in the house. And Sierra, she hit up Shooter via FaceTime to check on the kids. And she tells him, you know, she loves him and the kids. I don't think he wanted to say it back. Anywho, speaking of Shooter, okay, this is where my blood started to boil. I don't know why. Shooter and this girl, right? I forgot her name. But first of all, she's talking about she cooking a home-cooked meal for her man. First of all, just because you can make some sketty, sis, doesn't mean that you know how to cook. Talking about she uses sugar, ketchup, onions, and love. Girl, talk to me when you step your game up, okay, to seasoning and cooking oxtail. Tender oxtail, not overcooked, tough oxtail. Stewed peas and rice with smoked turkey neck, curry chicken. Matter of fact, I was like, no, that girl needs to open up those cabinets and let me see what seasoning you got in there. Talking about her grandma taught her how to cook. Don't know big, you see how big Shooter is? Don't no big, broad back, burly man like Shooter want no spaghetti for dinner. Are you serious? She was doing the most, right? I was like, second of all, why was she asking so many questions about Sierra? See, this is how I know that she wasn't cooking nothing in that kitchen. She should have been either listening to some music or watching TV in the kitchen. Shout out to my old school girls and boys who grew up cooking with their mothers and their grandmothers or whoever with the TV in the kitchen. See, that way, you got the TV in the kitchen. That way, you don't walk away from your pots. You eye your stove. You keep an eye on your stove. Let me get off that girl and her non-cooking. Funky Dineva, if you hear me, if you hear this message, Funky Dineva, send that girl your video of how to make a real hearty pot of spaghetti. Moving along. Shooter goes on to tell Miss Spaghetti that he and Cheyenne mess around from time to time. And Shooter says that Cheyenne thinks that it's more than what it is. You know, yo, Shooter, you really too old to be this stupid. Like, you really too old for this, sir. Then Spaghetti, she gonna say, does she know about me? Does she know I'm the HBIC? Shooter says no. Because I guess they have an open relationship. Because she did mention that, you know, I do my own thing. So if you do your own thing, why do you care about who he is? This is exactly what Shekinah Joe was just talking about in her waiting to exhale moment in the kitchen on the ski trip, right? Now she ready to be confrontational. It seems like Miss Spaghetti loves confrontation because she's ready. She's ready to meet Cheyenne. Well, you need to let her know. I'll let her know. Then they all sat down to eat. It's funny now, but I didn't find it funny when I was watching this. Shooter's son, he didn't eat. I'm laughing. I'm giggling to myself now. I laughed a little bit, but then I got annoyed all over again. Food's so bad, the baby don't even want none. Poor baby. What did the baby eat before he went to bed? Where's his mama? Then she asked him, oh, what you want? Chicken fingers and McDonald's or something? He looked up at her like she was crazy. That just vexed my spirit. What the baby gonna eat? That little boy is smart though. He said, I don't know her, and I am not eating from her. Shooter didn't even touch his food. Did y'all notice that? All right, let me get off the food. I just felt away because what did the baby end up eating? The poor baby looked miserable and he looked like he was hungry. And you putting this foolishness in front of this baby. Moving along to Jock and his game night. So we're introduced to another business venture of sorts of Jock, and also another woman that he possibly messed around with. So this woman is an event planner, and she seems to be a close quote unquote friend of Jock. He said that Kendra was home. Now, Jock, you know what Kendra gives. So what? The storyline is going to be that Jock is probably going to end up cheating before he gets married. Is that where we're going with this? Jock is really crazy. He is nuts. Anyway, Cheyenne is sitting at the table with this event planner. Jock is there at this point. Scrap De Leon and Cheyenne are there. They're playing a drinking game. And she reveals that she and Jock go way back. I'm like, Lord have mercy. Jock said he knew her before he found out that was Scrap's sister. Cheyenne girl, just be quiet, sis. Jesus Christ. Anyway, Jock lets them know that Shooter will be attending this game night. So Cheyenne thinks that Shooter's her boyfriend, and I'm pretty sure she thinks that way because they've been dealing with each other for 2 years, and he has been telling her that he is in a relationship with her, regardless of what he told Spaghetti. Maybe not. Maybe Cheyenne could be delusional, but I doubt it. So I'm sure he'll be showing up soon with Spaghetti. I'm just anticipating. Then in walks Safari. It was really good to see Safari. Safari is like comedic relief a little bit. You know what I'm saying? He walked in with his wife. What's her? Erica. So they walk in. I hope they're not going to be too heavy in this season with Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. They can be friends of the show, but I don't want a storyline or anything like that from them. I'm good. So it was good to see Safari. So Shooter and Spaghetti end up walking in kind of color coordinated, dressed in white and gold. And the two ladies, they speak, and Spaghetti, she's being antagonizing, telling Cheyenne, you're too pretty to be this angry. Cheyenne is wondering, who is this? What the hell is going on? And did you guys catch when Cheyenne said that girl looks familiar, talking about Spaghetti, saying she looks familiar, and she's seen her at Scrap DeLeon's house all over her brother? Did y'all catch that? Dotting and bopping. So the ladies, they start yelling at one another and tables start shaking, and that's where the episode ends. And I'm just like, really, Cheyenne girl? So next week we're supposed to see Cheyenne crying. Not to downplay her feelings for Shooter, because I'm pretty sure she was led to believe that she was in a relationship with this guy. Maybe not. Who knows? But Cheyenne girl, really? I mean, I guess. So that's where the episode ends. I'm still hot about that baby going to bed probably without a home cooked meal. I can't even get my words out. Shooter probably had to end up getting Uber Eats for that baby. He looked miserable. And I don't like that, because Royal be love the kids. Ketchup, onions, and love. Girl. Royal family, get down in the comments. Let me know what you think of this episode. Question: is Mona Scott Young no longer affiliated with the Love and Hip Hop franchise? What's going on with that? If you know, let me know. Put it in the comments. I'd greatly appreciate it. So hit the thumbs up button if you enjoyed the commentary. That's all I got. I'll see you next week. Until next time, peace.